Alright, hello everybody. So I'm back with another prediction video, but this time, yeah, wow, man. finally, this year we got a really great boxing weekend ahead of us. Yeah, alright, I couldn't help but I really feel, wow, man, it's been such a long time since, fuck, man, really. Yeah, sorry for cursing, man. Who gives a shit? Alright. So, first, Chris Eubank is facing Leon Williams at the Motor Point Arena, Cardiff. Yeah, I got some friends in Cardiff, so greetings to my Cardiff friends. Yeah, alright. So, yeah, this is not a title fight or anything, but still it's an important one because I guess it's like a fight that will show where they both are respectively, and it will also serve in case Eubank wins. It will likely be a springboard to a big fight, probably world title fight. So anyway, first of all, it seems like Demetrius Andrade has relinquished his WBO title. Just a second, motherfucker. Yeah. Well, there are rumors that he might anyway. So in that case, winner of this fight may, fight for that next. So right, Leon Williams. Let's take him first because he's like the underdog, I guess, in this fight. Yeah. He is 5'10", tall, 29 years of age. He's had 23 wins with 18 knockouts, 3 losses, one by stoppage, but not really a knockout. It was a corner retirement against Leon Smith, and also one draw. So in his last fight with Demetrius Andrade, he lost on points. He was down once, but he still managed to give to come back, and give Andrade a good fight. Of course, he was nowhere near winning, but I thought it was a really valiant effort, and he just proved that he is, simply good enough to be in there with the best, but he's not good enough to be the best. Yeah, I would say so simple as that. And while Chris Eubank Jr., we don't know really, he was good enough to beat some of the best anyway, but his career didn't really deliver or take off the way it was supposed to. And he hasn't been really fighting all that much lately. He didn't have a fight in 2020, so he had 2 fights last year, but both against lower level opponents, I guess. None of them I have ever heard of before. Some guy in Germany with a padded record. Yeah. Anyway, Chris Eubank is definitely otherwise a superior of the two as a boxer technically, and I would say the punching power is about equal, maybe. And I mean, both guys are not necessarily one punch kind of knockout artists, but they can knock you out. I mean, Eubank has done that against Yildirim, of course. So he can do that, and Williams has had also some rather impressive knockouts. So, but I don't really expect this fight to end that way, if you know what I mean. I expect it to go the distance, definitely, and unless there should be some kind of cut or injury, a muscle injury, whatever, I think it will go the distance because both guys are tough and haven't really been stopped. Williams was that was not really a true stoppage. She was cut. You know, that's what happens sometimes. But simply because Eubank is slightly superior anyway, the slightly technically better fighter, I would favor him. He's got 1 inch height advantage, but that doesn't much. But I would slightly favor him, even though the fight is in Wales, which favors Williams with Welsh, of course. But still, I don't know if that's gonna be enough. I mean, it may be, but sorry, Williams will have to fight really hard in order to be able to get a decision win. So yeah, that's the way it is. And so I think, hmm, it might even end a draw, actually, to be completely frank. I think there is a strong possibility because if Eubank doesn't really impress, he manages to win just enough rounds to, but he doesn't impress. He may just well find himself, let's say, robbed with a draw. But I can also see it being a very close fight, of course. I can see that happening. But still, I think, yeah, I mean, Williams is still a rather, typical straightforward fighter. He doesn't really do much except for going forward and engaging. And he's not that great defensive fighter, so he's more like an action fighter or pressure fighter. Yeah. So that's why I think Eubank will manage to not to outbox him in a way. Very likely. Alright, so my prediction is that Chris Eubank wins some points, most likely. We've also got one fight on the same card that is somewhat interesting, but it's on with Chris Jenkins. This guy, you may have heard of him. He turned pro in 2012, but his career didn't really go that as well as some people were expecting anyway. So now he's fighting against Julius Sindongo, who is also a guy who, he did achieve something. He beat Ricky Burns and Edward Tarnowski, but after that he was destroyed by Crawford and Regis Prograis, and then he lost. He was also knocked out twice more, and you know he's 38 years of age. That stuff. So, but still, I don't know really. I mean, Jenkins lost his last fight, even though it was to an undefeated guy, but one that I never heard of before from Botswana, Echo Esson. He was stopped in 8 rounds there. So he has now lost 4 fights, got 22 knockouts. So, sorry, he wins. He's got only 8 knockouts, so he's not a puncher, definitely. Maybe, he might manage to get some sort of, especially if he gets help by the hometown judges and the crowd. Yeah, he may get some sort of victory. Yeah. Alright, moving on. This is now, we leave Europe and UK. This is now Northern America, or actually USA. First, we got Luis Neri, who is trying to bounce back after his first loss to Brandon Figueroa by a knockout in 7th round. Neri was a true destroyer as a bantamweight, and he held the WBC title there as well. And then just after he won the WBC title super bantamweight, he was destroyed by Figueroa in his first defense. So now he's fighting a guy called Carlos Castro, who is 27-0 with 12 knockouts. And Castro's claim to fame is that in his last fight, he knocked out Oscar Escandon in 10 rounds. and he won the WBC Continental Americas featherweight title. So I guess this is a featherweight fight now, or something, or maybe super bantamweight. But anyway, yeah, Luis Neri, he was simply a very effective puncher and offensive fighter at bantamweight, but at super bantamweight, I don't know really. And he might find himself struggling a bit against this guy Castro, but I still kind of think he will most likely win this fight anyway. I'm not sure if it will be by knockout or anything. All right. Even more exciting matchup was this. This is a rematch of a fight. The first fight happened way back in 2014, and it's Srisaket Sorumvisai, or Visak Silvangek as he's also known. He's fighting Carlos Cuadras for the vacant WBC Super Flyweight title. And that fight when he lost that same title that he is now. They are now fighting for to Cuadras in 2014, but that was by a technical decision, in Mexico, which was kind of questionable. So that was I think he is keen to avenge that unfortunate loss. Because he had just like won that title like a year ago, yeah, a year before that. So yeah, that was a kind of unfair way to lose, of course. Yeah, it was actually Quadras who was cut back then, and that's why they stopped the fight, which was like a little bit, yeah. So since then, let's call him Wangik. He has really bounced back well and defeated Roman Gonzalez twice, of course, and won the WBC title the second time. And then he lost it after first beating Juan Francisco Estrada. He lost in the rematch to Estrada 2019, and now he's had three fights since then. And now he's fighting for the same title again. While Quadras, he has not really done so well since he was even stopped by the same guy Estrada in 11 rounds in his last fight. So, and before that, he lost also to Roman Gonzalez, McWilliams, Arroyo. Yeah, even though he did manage to make like six defenses of that title first. But yeah, I mean, we can safely say that he's no longer what he was when he got a victory over Wangik. So while Wangik seems to be even, I mean, perhaps even better than back then now. So I do expect Wangik to win this fight, and probably by a stoppage, by a knockout even. Yeah, why not? He's got 43 KOs of 50 wins, so the guy can punch definitely. So I think Wangek or Sorungusai will win by knockout or TKO, like I don't know, like maybe within 8 rounds. I would say very like. All right, and finally, wow, I spent so much time already. Always the first fight takes up so much time. All right, Keith Turman finally returning after 2 years, man. Oh wow, it's incredible. And he's fighting Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios. 2.5 years actually. So Barrios from his last fight when he lost, sorry, to Tank Davis. He really gave a good account of himself. He's a really tough, durable guy and tall and yeah, 5'10". And Turman, he's listed, I think, as five. Yeah, all right, he's 5'9". That's right, because he was earlier listed at 5'7", and I know he's taller than that. So Doesn't matter really. Yeah, Turman. Well, it all depends how much that ring rust has affected him. How ring rusty he is. That long layoff really is not, that little short time to be away, 2.5 years. It's about on the border to how long you can be away and then return without, losing your prime. But I think his prime is already spent, most likely. But of course, he can surprise us always. You know what always struck me about strange about Turman is he didn't really, after winning his first title uh, at welterweight, he just seemed to be, less interested in scoring knockouts, simply, and just became a more of a careful, cautious fighter, and he was playing it safe, I guess, a little too much, and now he can't do that, otherwise he can lose this fight definitely. So this time he will have to go all out. So that's why I'm really happy that he has been given this guy as an opponent because he will not let him rest, on his laurels. He will not let him rest or take it easy, definitely. So Turman will really have to step on the gas this time to win, and even though, before, I mean, if this was a year ago, then I would say, yeah, definitely, Turner wins, no doubt. I mean, no doubt about it. But now, I'm, I do kind of favor him to win, but I'm not saying, oh, he wins, no doubt, no doubt, no way that this guy Vargas can win. I think there is a possibility that we can see an upset, but how big it is, I don't really know. That nobody can know really. Maybe apart from their respective trainers, perhaps, I don't know, or maybe not even they. So it all depends how do these styles will clash, their respective styles. Turman being a boxer, who can punch, but he isn't really anymore that much of a predator, like he was like several years ago. And Barrios being a really totally offensive, aggressive guy, a warrior. So usually, the more clever guy outboxes the aggressive warrior. But I mean, you don't know. Really. It can go several other ways. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if that guy is proven to be a little too rusty and his reflexes aren't quite as sharp as they were. He can get dropped and he can get hurt several times, and then it's very hard to get back from that. And he may get back, of course, but I really expect a tough fight for Turman. I do, and but I trust he will find. He still has these skills, but I was really kind of disappointed over him against Manny Pacquiao. I really kind of expected him to really be dominant and even send Pacquiao into retirement, perhaps. But he was just not, he didn't have his mojo in that fight. And he just simply got swollen, like swallowed by Pac-Man. Yeah. But yeah, I think his natural skills and abilities will most likely carry him through. So, but I don't expect him to win by a knockout. Of course, I expect him, even though he is significantly bigger than the guy that knocked out Barrios. But that was in the 11th round, so it wasn't like. But anyway, That's the problem is that long layoff. You don't know what kind of shape he's in. So yeah, I think it's safest to predict a points victory, but a close one for Turman. It may be a split decision or whatever. So that would be my prediction. Final or a big fight. All right. So 20 minutes. Wow. Fuck. Yeah, all right. Take it easy.